For episode 1, click the card here. The owner of the rental home allowed us to hang our wet gear in a compressor room behind the dépanneur. It's got a compressor going, generating a lot of heat and air. So we all put our gear in here and everything is nice and warm and dry. Day 2 started off cloudy, but most importantly, it was dry. Day 2 was June 24th, Saint Jean-Baptiste holiday here in Quebec, and we saw that there was a street in Baie-St-Paul called Saint Jean-Baptiste, so we figured we'd go there and take a photo. I asked a woman who was taking her morning walk if she could take our photo. She did a pretty good job. We had an AirBnB booked in Causapscal, so our plan was to go from Baie-Saint-Paul, pass through Tadoussac all the way to Les Escoumins, where we would get on the ferry and go to Trois-Pistoles, and then continue on to Causapscal. I noticed this lookout sign and think of the great view it must give of the bay down below. I decide not to pull in because I have no way of communicating with the 2 people ahead of me and later regret it. I should have just pulled in and they would have realized at some point and turned around and come back to join us. Lesson learned. As we journey along Highway 362 towards Tadoussac, the landscape grows increasingly twisty and mountainous. We're occasionally rewarded with breathtaking views of the St. Lawrence River. We see a new church in each village we ride through. Ride by some really nice looking rental cottages that would have an amazing view on the St. Lawrence River. Continue on Highway 362 towards La Malbaie. As we approach La Malbaie, we ride along this beautiful golf course with an incredible view. Makes me wish I was a golfer. As we exit La Malbaie, we change routes from Highway 362 to get back on Highway 138. There were some ferries that were closed due to striking workers, but we were lucky that the 2 ferries that we needed to take weren't affected. This is a short ferry, only 10 minutes, and it's free, and there's no reservations, you just show up. And we were lucky that there weren't too many people ahead of us. We found a place to pull over in Tadoussac and called some friends that were camping at le Paradis-Marin, which is a great spot for whale watching and also kayaking. This is very close to where we need to embark on the next ferry. I managed to reach them and we decide to meet for lunch. My wife and I camped here before, and it's an amazing spot. We pitched our tent close enough to the water we could hear the whales exhaling through their blowholes at night. Truly an amazing experience.
Rock and roll, baby! Hello, gentlemen!
I was hoping the campsite would allow us all to enter and visit with Pat and Marie-Josée and maybe see some whales, but they insisted we pay the entrance fee. So we decided to grab lunch together at a spot close by instead. Well, this is a typical casse-croûte every town has. If you've heard of poutine, this is where you should go to try it. If you don't know what poutine is, then have a look at this. It's a magical, mouth-watering mix of golden brown fries with cheese curds and warm, rich brown gravy. Once the cheese melts, it's time to dig in. Just be ready to allow yourself a day or two to digest. We had a nice visit with Pat and Marie-Josée, and then we headed off to the ferry. There are only 2 departures per day for this ferry, and you need to reserve ahead of time. When we showed up, we find out that there was a problem with the reservation, and we were booked for only 1 motorcycle and 6 people. They managed to fit all of us onto the boat, thankfully, but I imagine if we wouldn't have gotten on, and with all the ferry workers striking all over Quebec, we may have had a serious problem. Thankfully, all was good. Welcome to Gaspesie, everybody. Okay. Let's rock and roll! Where does the Gaspe Peninsula actually start? Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. I asked Google Gemini that same question, and this is what it says.
Gaspesie officially begins in Sainte-Flavie, where Route 132 splits into 2 routes, allowing you to either travel clockwise or counterclockwise around the peninsula.
Well, I guess that means we're not actually on the Gaspe Peninsula yet. Stick around, we'll get there. As we enter Rimouski, I start having problems with my GoPro mic, and this is only the beginning, as you'll see in these videos. Seeing this was a holiday in Quebec, many stores and restaurants would be closed. We had an AirBnB booked, and we wanted to get food for our dinner. Michelle had called this fishmonger to make sure they were open, so we bought some fresh fish for our evening meal. Welcome to the Gaspe Peninsula, everybody. The house was nice, but it had this odd, ghostly feeling to it, and it made people act a little strange. But in the end, we had a great meal, and it was a great day. In the next episode, we visit a covered bridge, we ride along the Matapedia River, and we make it all the way to Percé Rock. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, say hi down below, and subscribe. It'll help the channel grow. Cheers!